You would never knowingly put your child in harm's way, and no school system would send its teachers, staff, and students into buildings they knew were unhealthy. So why don't Virginia schools test for radon, a gas that can lead to lung cancer more frequently? My investigation uncovered a potential flaw in the law when it comes to testing schools. Paula Scalina never dreamed she'd be in a fight for her life, let alone wonder whether radon gas had something to do with it.
When I found out I had lung cancer, one of the first things we did was test our house. And it tested below the threshold, so I knew it wasn't my house.
If not her house, where? Smoking is the leading cause of lung cancer. Radon is second. Scalina never smoked. She teaches at Manellison Middle School in Amherst County. She's been there nearly 30 years, but there's no evidence Scalina's lung cancer is linked to radon gas.
That's all you have to do, test a building one time, which is scary because things could change in the school.
She's talking about the law in Virginia. My investigation uncovered that schools are required to test for radon, but there's a catch. They only have to do it once. In Amherst County, that happened back in the 90s. Because of Paula Scalina, they're doing a new round of testing. I asked for and received the results from the testing back in the 90s and the most recent tests on the schools in Amherst, including Manellison Middle, Scalina's school. They show radon levels below the Environmental Protection Agency's guidelines for taking corrective action. Radon is measured in picocuries per liter. The EPA recommends schools reduce radon when levels go above 4 picocuries.
We've tried to be very, very responsive.
Dr. Stephen Nichols is superintendent of schools in Amherst.
One of my responsibilities as superintendent is to be sure that staff and students, especially students, have a safe environment.
But my investigation didn't just center around Amherst. I received radon test results for schools in Bedford, Danville, Campbell, Lynchburg, and Roanoke.
Can't see it, can't taste it, can't smell it. The only way you know it's there is to do the test.
Dale Phelps is a radon expert with nearly 30 years under his belt. He's a member of the National Radon Safety Board and National Radon Proficiency Program.
This is the most accurate test there is.
Phelps believes when it comes to radon kids in schools, more testing is the way to go.
Children are more susceptible to radon than adults. Most people don't realize that. Children's cells are changing, they're developing faster, their respiratory rate is higher.
I went to the state capitol to ask the experts at the Virginia Health Department if testing schools for radon once is good enough.
I think we're doing about the best we can with the law as it stands right now.
I would certainly be willing to discuss with legislators the benefits of increased testing.
The EPA estimates that more than 70,000 schoolrooms in use today have elevated radon levels.
Kids are our most precious resource.
State Delegate Ben Klein knows the law on radon in schools. He says if it's needed and people demand it, he'd look at helping to change it.
We need to make sure that our schools are safe, make sure that our kids are safe when they're in the schools, and it's something we need to be aware of.
Paula Scalina is very aware. Even though her illness can't be traced to radon exposure at school, she's fighting her lung cancer with every breath.
I love my school. I love the teachers. I love the students.
Eye-opening. Testing for radon in schools can get expensive. We're talking thousands to tens of thousands of dollars. Amherst County, for instance, wants to set aside about $75,000 every 5 years to test all its schools. To see the radon results for your child's school, head to our ABC 13 News app or WSET.com. Then join me tonight at 6:45 for a Facebook Live discussion about radon gas with our expert.